Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Crypto Bull Ron here. Happy Taco Tuesday. Let me take here. We're coming in good here. Get the chat working. If we're live here on X, let's see. There we go. Let's make sure it works. Looking okay here. Okay, yeah, it's working. So do a little GM in the chat to get things started. Sorry, a little bit late today. Some other stuff going on. Like to try and get her as close as I can to the top of the hour, but it's not always going to happen. So anyway, yeah, as you can guess, looking at Bitcoin here, this is the daily chart. Bitcoin good yesterday, unexpected. Everything else kind of tanked. Bitcoin still held pretty solid. So very happy with Bitcoin's performance yesterday and crypto overall. It's about time we had a good day. So Bitcoin looking today still up 1.3%, holding at 60, just over 7,000. Market just opened. Let's go see what the markets were looking. They were looking very, they were much like they were going to open in the red, but let's see here. Just opened about 4 minutes. Sorry, like to get a little bit of a preview, all the news and everything just a little quicker than normal here. Yeah, markets were down, sometimes over reflect it all. Looks like crypto Bitcoin still holding strong. So the dollar was kind of keeping on that. Yeah, so yeah, NASDAQ up, down 2%. U.S. stocks sell off as new Iran attacks rattle markets. So we're seeing smart on Iran's side. They did go out and they did. They're hitting everybody and trying to cause max pain. Their former allies, right around them. So that's strategy. But yeah, you see the NASDAQ is open down 2.2, 8, as 0.8. Gold, man, gold and silver took huge. Gold down 3.2 through the roof. Let's go over and see how they're affecting. So, like yesterday, just looking at the bubbles over, but when we look down at the important ones here, Bitcoin, now we couldn't quite hold on to. Let's look at the hourly chart. This is the daily chart. Obviously, yesterday in the show, we took that huge spike, kind of unexpected to how Bitcoin had been acting, I'll turn on my camera. It seems a little bit glitchy. Seems a little bit delayed, so I'm going to lose that little camera feed there. Anyway, yeah, we had that huge spike you see yesterday, and we got all the way up to 69,826 here. Most charts went over. But it kind of bled down here. So keep in mind that the regular stock market totally tanking, down over 2%. You see, right as the market opened, right before 67. Now we're down to 66.83. But let's see. Still, when everything else is tanking 2 days in a row now, crypto's doing good. So take a look at Ethereum. Same thing. I'm just going to look at the hourly chart here so we can see what just happened. Yeah, 1953. Of course, on the daily chart, we got all the way up well over 2,000. Be nice if we could get back over 70,000. By the way, GM, everyone on YouTube, Rumble, or that's joined us today. A little late on the opening bell crypto show here, but second day in a row that Bitcoin is actually holding up in the face of everything else tanking. So, yeah, love to see crypto. Love to see Bitcoin solid over 70. Love to see Ethereum over 2,000. We're not too far. XRP, let's look at it on the daily. We got up to almost one, all the way down to 134. Now we're sitting at 135. So we're down a little on the daily. But on the hourly, yeah, not doing too bad. Not getting drugged down with the rest of the market. Knock on wood. Solana 83.55. Yesterday we got all the way to, and then we dropped down to around 83, holding about where we are now. But on the hourly chart, now we'll see what happens. We'll hit the news and we'll come back and check and see where everything is. First off, want to look at the fear and greed index. Fear and greed index 14. That's still extreme fear, but not as much. Oh, good, Artie, saying it's less glitchy without the camera on. Okay, good. I don't know what. You know what it is? I had fiber optics running to my home office, and I haven't upgraded my router. I think that's probably the problem. I've got it on my list. I'll try and get it done. But thank you, Artie. Good to see you over there on YouTube. Yeah. Camera. I have super high fiber optic old modem, and he told me it probably wouldn't work. That's been a month or two ago. I need to get that upgraded ASAP. So good to see everybody. Yeah. So to recap, we basically, what we have is we have second day in a row, markets down horribly, oil up crazy, but crypto and Bitcoin holding its own, which might be nothing more than we were so close to. We're just oversold, right? We've been talking about the monthly and so good to see that. Second day. And here we are. Yeah, checking on the market a little bit better. Now down 1.85, Dow down 1.75, 1.58 on the S&P. So it could be a little bit worse, though. I mean, literally a couple weeks ago, we hit, like maybe it was might have even been a week ago, Tuesday. We were really looking for a short-term catalyst. We seemed like we were on just kind of spinning closer and closer down to 60, and then things turned around, especially with, but I think a lot of it was just we were so oversold on the larger time frames. Seeing RSIs down that we haven't, seen a couple times in the history of Bitcoin. So this just tells me that this fear and greed, the Bitcoin fear and greed, is obviously much affected by the price, which always doesn't reflect the overall reality. But I love, it's my favorite macro indicator. I love to buy the fear. Seeing some crazy stuff out there. For those of you that aren't in the U.S., we're seeing these anti-Trump. This is in front of Trump Towers, holding up Ayatollah signs. I mean, this is absolute stupidity. But keep in mind, this is just anti-Trump rhetoric. These are bought and paid for. This is ridiculous, right? We're making the Democrats, man. Hopefully this isn't their they have any chance of winning anything. Hopefully this isn't going to be their campaign thing. Let's uphold the Ayatollah, biggest piece of shit out there. One of the worst peoples on the planet. I'm happy for one to see him go. But anyway, this just so those of you that don't know, there's a lot of anti-Trump, anti-war stuff out there. It's not how most of the American people feel, in my opinion. And this stuff is just complete bought and paid for propaganda. But there is the other thing is this, everybody, UAE announced they have a strategic reserve of artillery capable of fending off aerial threats for a long time. So what you saw, especially by Bloomberg, and I'll show you some more on that, came out saying that, of course, the UAE, they're all getting hit, right? Everyone's getting hit. We had a big oil refinery in Saudi Arabia get taken offline yesterday. We had a big LNG, liquefied natural gas refinery taken offline in, I believe, Kuwait. So, I mean, it's definitely a good strategy by Iran to just cause max damage. There was a lot of fake news FUD in the crypto world that they only have a couple of days. Their stuff's running out. They said they've got plenty. It was mainly Bloomberg reporting on it, and I have a few articles about that. But one thing is, the U.S. is going to take air defenses from Korea and Japan and move them over because they're closer there. So they're not necessarily needed over there right now. But there was, and here's the other thing. Obviously, American bases and all these things are, of course, targets over there. So America is telling people, I wouldn't say they're telling them to flee the Middle East. They're just saying be careful and stuff, which is standard procedure, right? And they're making it look like they're like look at this. Depart now. U.S. tells citizens to flee Middle East, but most airspace closed. It's just common procedure to evacuate, especially since they're going to be the biggest targets over there. But yeah, I mean, this kind of stuff these warnings always go off. Personally, if I'm in Dubai, I'm just staying there. It's still, hey, superhero GM, brother, man, good to see you, man. Long time ENS Maxi friend here, going back 3-4 years with superhero, man. Good to see you here. Join us on X and saying GM in the chat. But anyway, listen, if I'm in Dubai, which I often am this time of year, I'll just stay there. I mean, it's still statistically way safer than most major cities in UK or the EU or especially London or New York, Chicago, something like that, Miami even. So it's like, whatever. But this is made, once again, they're trying to step up. I noticed negative tone about the war and everything else, and we don't want to see this going on a long time back. This was coming saying UAE an Bloomberg report, right? Out against them. Also, earlier in the day, we had Qatar saying the same thing. Statement from the International Media Office of the State of Qatar in response to an article published by Bloomberg. Contrary to reporting by Bloomberg on Monday evening, the inventory of Patriot interceptor missiles held by Qatar Armed Forces has not been depleted and remains well stocked. The Qatar Armed Forces have repeatedly demonstrated their capability to defend the nation against external threats and remain in full readiness to protect all citizens, residents, and visitors. They tried to make it look like America had left. Just a lot of negativity out there. I even saw it on X. I even thought Mario Nafal, who's the biggest guy on X, I even thought he was taking a more negative twist, at least in some of the people he interviewed. But whatever, right? We want to see it. It isn't good if it goes on a long time, right? Now, we did see reports of many more U.S. Fuel, basically the refueling planes and more jets going over there. Obviously, the U.S. and Israel need to take out degrade their capability to sit here and launch bombs because these people are right there, right? They're right next door. I mean, it's like, you think of them as countries, but they're literally minutes away, right? By missiles and stuff. In fact, because of that, yesterday we had, I believe it was Kuwait, shot down 3 American planes with American anti-aircraft missiles, right? So they're so close, they just didn't have time to adequately react. Luckily, all 6 pilots were able to eject and were fine. But that happened yesterday, a friendly fire incident. So, of course, they were saying also there's so much fake news out there. AI stuff showing like things that aren't happening. They were showing them striking American warships, which never happened. You can kind of tell it was fake stuff, but anyway, that was happening. We had them claiming they shot down the plane. Kuwaiti man rushing to fight. He's been shot during operation. Said so. All 6 airplanes were a loss. Luckily, they weren't the most expensive. This was a female pilot. She was actually smiling. So anyway, that's crazy because when you eject out of an F-16 that can be dangerous. So luckily we're all fine, and hopefully they're fixing that. But they're just so close, and at the same time there was other missiles and stuff in the air. So anyway, luckily no one was killed. I think like 6 service members have been killed. Like I say, a lot of negativity on this side. It is about how to flag. We did see the U.S. embassy was. No one was in there that already evacuated in Saudi Arabia, and they said there was a limited fire, animal damage. Most of the footage you saw out there of these huge oil fires were fake. Wasn't even the same thing. But nonetheless, understand what's happening. Besides the propaganda wars going on, anti-American, anti-Israel stuff out there, they are doing a smart strategy. They're hitting all their neighbors. Maybe not smart long term, but their idea is let's inflict mass pressure and cause people to kind of back off on us. So anyway, we'll see what happens, but obviously they do need to degrade their ability. Now, the biggest hit's probably going to be China, right? They were getting a lot of oil from Venezuela. That's gone. They get most of their oil from Iran and a lot of food and other things too. So right now, China is definitely saying they're definitely taking the side of Iran, and I believe they're going to be working to kind of get this some kind of settlement to happen, because obviously that's like a major supply of their oil comes from Iran. So that's might be part of Trump's calculus to kind of put some more pressure on China. But I don't think China will get actively involved, though they're obviously going to support their trading partner, but they may put some pressure on, all they needed to do was, work some kind of arrangement out, and that didn't happen. And here we are today. But obviously all of us, for those people involved, we don't want to see people getting hurt and innocent people getting taken out anywhere, whether it's in Dubai or even people in Iran that have nothing to do with this, right? So we want to see this get resolved. Hopefully, Trump's saying 4 weeks. The poly market odds are showing, about 4 or 5 weeks. We don't want to see this. The sooner the better. The sooner they can keep them from bombing their neighbors, the better. But anyway, that's where we are. That's what's affecting our markets. Let's go take a look back at the markets, see how they're doing real quickly there. GMG one. Let's just guess if kind of a meltdown for 2 days now. Crypto's been holding a little bit stronger, so that's, I think, good news for us. Yeah, now it's gotten a little back to the worst. Nasdaq now down 2%, Dow 2.18, 1.95. Let's see how Bitcoin's doing in the midst of this. Look at the hour. A little bit. We're down. No, sorry, that wasn't accurate. Refreshed it. We're down 0.6. So as we are starting a little bit, but not kind of what we've come to expect over the last 6 months, 5-6 months. So once again, we do need to see. The longer this draws out, the more negative press out there, the more they are bombing. Like I say, smart strategy, hitting all their neighbors. Smart short-term strategy may put more pressure on everybody. So far, the missile defenses, a few people have been killed in these other countries. Like I say, I think about 6 U.S. service have been killed. Yeah, they need to continue to hit them hard to degrade, or they need to reach some kind of settlement. Last I heard, it was one of the Ayatollah's sons, or there was 2 or 3 people kind of calling the shots over there. Obviously, a huge portion of their leadership is, including the Ayatollah and his first replacement, taken out already. So now it's rumored that it's the Ayatollah's son running stuff, and he's probably 50, 60, 70. I mean, like in the 80s, I believe. Super. Okay, so we are taking a little bit of a dip, to be expected. Hopefully it doesn't get too bad. Still, I would say crypto's showing being fairly resilient, all things considered. So get back to our news here, and then we'll take one final checkup before we leave here for the day. But yeah, it's all about the war at this point, unfortunately. Dubai, there's going to be like 80 flights going out today, but I guess that remains to be seen. But Abu Dhabi and Dubai order all hotels to extend for those unable to travel due to circumstance, and the government will cover the cost. So people that are stuck there are getting their hotels and food paid for by the government. Like I say, so far so good. They've got a lot of money, and they're so far their defenses are holding. A lot of it goes on for a month or two, but they definitely have unlimited resources to buy those and bring them in from other parts of the world, as we're already seeing. Like I say, if I'm in Dubai this time of year, which I usually am, I'm just chilling. I'm staying there. Obviously, no one wants missiles flying over them and stuff, but at least to this point, is still much safer than almost anywhere else in the world. But that is cool of them to cover all those expenses for those people. Mara, back to crypto news. Mara, the largest public Bitcoin miner, Mara holding to consider selling its Bitcoin reserve. So Mara, the second largest public holder, second only to MicroStrategies, has updated its treasury policy. They currently hold 58,822. So way smaller, less than 10% of what MicroStrategies holds, but nonetheless, it is what it is. Some of these miners right now, they're under pressure. It's kind of mining is really feast or famine. We've seen a few of them pivoting over to building data centers for AI as well. So there's some competition going on there, but anyway, to be expected. We've got I'm very pissed off about the embassy being hit in Saudi Arabia. It's and it was evacuated. The Trump White House said it's time for the banks to compromise on Bitcoin and crypto market structure. Everything will fall into place after that, clarity by March. So this Clarity Act, look, I brought it up yesterday, and I brought it up numerous times. U.S. and Trump are absolutely motivated to get this done, and the stable coins is really what extends U.S.'s dollar dominance, U.S. reserve currency, and they become these stable coin issuers, USDT, USDC, the Trump boys were Liberty Fi, as well as RLUSD from, there's 3 or 4 of these that are all going to be huge buyers of treasuries so they can keep those stable coins pegged to the dollar. So they're highly motivated for this to happen. So Trump, even though I was disappointed, he didn't mention it in the State of the Union address. He's very highly motivated to stable coins because they can go on the blockchain, especially like on the faster blockchains, and a lot of stable coins are across numerous ones. They're able to be the payment rails, of these banks, and they don't, and also with AI as well. So Clarity Act, a week ago, catalyst, I saw the biggest catalyst. We go back to tests, and could we go back down, go below it? Absolutely. Just in Brazil, government just abolished all tariffs on Bitcoin mining ASICs, import fees to zero. Nation states competing for BTC. This is huge. So yeah, we see that Brazil's continuing to try and gain more stuff going there. Yeah, Sosbo said this, and I saw that. I didn't watch the whole thing, but GMGN Sosbo, yeah, Charles Hodgkinson is strongly against the act. No ability for lenders to offer yield. Yeah, he's strongly against it. And maybe this is the compromise. That's the he hates it, right? That's a compromise. Banks do not want to compete against the yield on the stable coins and on crypto. So yeah, that was interesting. I didn't get to watch that whole thing, but yeah, he's definitely against it. Hopefully we don't pass it with the ability to do it. And he also mentioned that it kind of assumes the stuff is a security until proved otherwise. So there's obviously some back and forth there. Hopefully it can get passed and it'll also be good, right? We don't want just a crap bill passed, but what it will do is it will bring in a lot of money. You know, a lot of big money sitting on the side won't come through until there's some clarity. Bank of Japan are settling central bank money on a blockchain between major financial institutions. So look, to continue to move forward. Nonetheless, that's huge news. Don't have time to dwell on it. Gold and silver wiped out $2.4 trillion in 3.5 hours. That's nearly double the market cap of Bitcoin and right there around the whole market cap of everything, or more total market cap right now, all crypto. So still shows we're early, still shows you should be buying Bitcoin and crypto, not gold and silver, in my opinion. But Deloitte, big auditing firm, conducted the first USD stablecoin. They've never had a real audit, and now we have Deloitte come in to auditing it, making a statement of funds. Of course, we know Tether's one of the most profitable companies in the entire world. CEO Bitcoin is making a bottom in his life, talking about price action. Tennessee Strategic Bitcoin Reserve Act is recommended for passage, referred to the Ways and Means Committee. If passed, the bill allows the state treasurer to allocate up to 10% of public funds into Bitcoin. All 50 states are going to do it. They're all going to get 5, 10, 15, 20% allocation. Last but not least, when asked yesterday, is Bitcoin a bubble or did the bubble burst? BlackRock CEO Larry Fink said markets will rise and fall. Bubbles come and go. The only thing that matters is staying invested to, and there we have it. Thus the old saying, timing in the market is more important than timing in the market. I'll leave with that. You can welcome to join me over on the GM Bitcoin Morning Show. It's a space. Been running for 4 years. See you over there. I'll be back tomorrow. Hopefully a little earlier next time. This was a little shorter version today, but let's hope we can hold out. Let's hope this conflict gets ended and we can get back to our bags. But see everyone tomorrow, same time, same place. Have a great day, everybody, and let's enjoy your taco.